blood all over the car.
I have a broken windshield and I'm missing a tire because some kids were shooting at my car. I had some
What looks like blood in there?
This is Julissa Taler, mother of Eli Har, a young boy who had just been reported missing. The police didn't yet know the extent of it, but they were on the verge of uncovering a dark secret that Julissa had kept hidden.
Holy we got a body.
Eli was a 6-year-old who brought joy to everyone with his smile. However, his life was far from easy. Born with a genetic condition that nearly made him deaf, Eli required lifelong medical care. Even so, he always found happiness in the little things like blowing bubbles and playing with friends on social media. Eli's parents shared on social media what was likely one of his happiest moments.
Just do it. Just do it. Here. Do it.
Eli adored spending time with his parents. Simple games like these were the reason he was such a cheerful child. In fact, even at a young age, he dreamed of becoming a firefighter to help others. But what brought him the most joy was spending time with his father, Tori. The two were inseparable, and Eli would have spent every day playing with him if he could. One of their favorite activities was fishing, and these father-son outings brought them even closer. One of Eli's fondest memories was catching his first fish with Tori's help. However, Eli's time with Tori was cut short by a heartbreaking reality. When Eli was young, his parents divorced and Julissa fabricated a series of lies to keep him to herself. Tragically, this plan succeeded, and for years Eli was unable to see his father. This was a shocking blow for the young boy who couldn't understand why it was happening. Yet this was only the beginning of his struggles, as just months later, his life would take a devastating turn. On February 19th, 2022, Eli was at Julissa's apartment with her new boyfriend, Robert. After sharing some pizza, they were preparing to play video games. Everything seemed fine, but Robert noticed something disturbing in Julissa's demeanor. When Eli became excited and began talking louder, as children often do, Julissa flew into a rage and started hitting him. When she finally stopped doing this, Julissa abruptly grabbed her shotgun and headed to the car. After a while, she returned to the apartment, but only to pick up Eli and take him back downstairs with her. Robert, confused by their late-night departure, simply lay down and went to sleep. But the next day, things took an even stranger turn. As soon as he got out of bed, Robert found Julissa washing clothes stained with something red. Alarmed, he asked where Eli was, but Julissa casually replied that she had dropped him off at school earlier. That was the last time Eli was seen.
Straight from our souls. On May 20th, 2022, at about 11:30 p.m., when an officer knocked on our door and asked to come in, then asking Tori to have a seat. The cries from my husband broke my heart in a million pieces. I've been listening to the officer tell me what happened.
But where did Julissa and Eli go that night? To understand, I need to tell you more about Julissa's troubled past. Remember Eli's condition that nearly made him deaf? It wasn't a random misfortune. It was Julissa's doing. According to court records, Julissa started drinking at 13, became addicted to drugs by 16, and cycled in and out of rehab for years. Tragically, she was never able to fully recover, and in 2015 she was using LSD daily, while pregnant with Eli. She never cared for the child, not even when he was still in her womb. As a result, Eli was born with a severe, irreversible disease that requires lifelong medical care and specialist supervision. From the start, Julissa was unfit to be a mother, and because of her actions, she could never give Eli the attention and support he so desperately needed. This became tragically evident when Eli was just 1 year old, and the police received a disturbing report about Julissa. When they arrived at her home, they found her in a delirious state, while Eli was filthy, injured, and surrounded by garbage. Following this incident, a judge removed Eli from her care, placing him in a foster home, an unquestionably better choice. With his foster family, he could experience the love of a true parent. But unfortunately, even from a distance, Julissa never allowed this family any peace. In 2021, Eli's adoptive mother, Nikita, recounted one of the most terrifying experiences of her life. One evening as darkness set in, a black car parked outside her home, remaining there for hours. When Nikita stepped outside to investigate, she discovered Julissa spying on her house with binoculars. Realizing she'd been noticed, Julissa quickly drove off. This unsettling encounter only underscored how unhinged Julissa truly was. She was desperate to reclaim her son and was prepared to do anything to make it happen, even devising a disturbing plan to keep Eli all to herself. According to court records, for Julissa to regain custody of Eli, she needed to meet basic parental responsibilities. caring for Eli's mental and physical well-being, maintaining a clean home, and abstaining from drug use. Yet, these basic requirements were far beyond Julissa's ability. Over the following 11 months, she refused any support, instead blaming her ex-husband, Tori, for her troubles. She claimed he had repeatedly tried to harm her and their son. Compounding matters, Julissa ignored the social worker's directives, lying to them whenever possible. At one point, she was even caught tampering with drug tests and was arrested for stealing painkillers from a clinic. Despite all this, it was painfully clear that Julissa was an unfit mother and that Eli was far safer with his foster family. The social worker responsible for Eli's welfare began seriously considering returning custody of the boy to Julissa, and that's when everything truly began to fall apart. Over the next 4 months, Julissa stopped attending mandatory therapy, spent time living on the streets, and was even removed from a drug test after attempting to assault the staff. It was during this period that the social worker began to see through Julissa's deceptions. Despite this, she still made every effort to reunite Eli with his mother. This partiality became glaringly obvious when Eli's father, Tori, went to court to petition for custody. According to Minnesota law, children placed in foster care must either be reunited with their parents within a year or placed in a permanent foster home. But despite Tori's pleas, the social worker continued to support Julissa, even recommending to a judge that Julissa be granted more time with Eli. This left Tori and Eli's adoptive parents deeply concerned. They fought hard to prevent this outcome, but because it was court-authorized, their hands were tied. Ultimately, Eli was returned to his mother's care. It didn't take long to realize that this decision was a grave mistake. From the very first day Eli reunited with Julissa, his behavior changed drastically, becoming increasingly aggressive. His teachers, alarmed by the sudden shift in his personality, sent numerous emails to the social worker, voicing their concerns. But instead of investigating the cause of Eli's distress, it was decided he should begin seeing a child therapist. Meanwhile, Taylor missed so many mandatory parenting sessions that she was eventually expelled from the program. Child Protective Services also discovered that she had lied about her progress in a mental health program. In an email, she claimed to have completed it and no longer needed services. However, the program's director soon confirmed that this wasn't true. Despite these deceptions, missed sessions, and concerns regarding her mental stability, authorities allowed the experimental home visits with Eli to continue, and that's when tragedy struck. With no valid reason, Eli's social worker strongly recommended that the judge grant Julissa full custody, a decision that proved disastrous for Eli. While authorities were entangled in deciding who should care for Eli, Julissa had something far more sinister planned. It became evident through information detectives uncovered from her cell phone that Julissa's intentions went beyond regaining custody. Throughout her battle for Eli, she had been researching ways to harm herself and evade responsibility for a crime, going so far as to look up methods to shift blame onto a child. All the warning signs were there, yet they were ignored, leading to unimaginable consequences. On the night of May 19, 2022, just 10 days after regaining custody, Eli and his stepfather, Robert, were preparing to play a video game when Julissa's temper suddenly flared. But this time, her anger was anything but ordinary. She grabbed her shotgun, headed to the car with a disturbing sense of purpose, and something far more dangerous was about to unfold. When Julissa returned to the apartment, she took Eli to the car and began a terrifying journey. Their only stop was at a roadside store, where she approached the clerk and chillingly requested, "Give me 40 shotgun bullets." Afterward, she drove to the most isolated location she could find and, with chilling detachment, shot her son 9 times. Later that day, she placed Eli's lifeless body in the trunk, now focused on finding a place to hide him and planning to flee. As she was attempting to escape, a passing police car noticed her vehicle, severely damaged, and flagged her down. Realizing her secrets might be exposed, she pulled over.
There is no tire there. All right. There's what?
Blood all over the car.
Violation. I have a broken windshield and I'm missing a tire because some kids were shooting at my car. I had some.
What looks like blood in there? And
It's not blood, it's deer meat. I had a big bag of, there's a farm around here that does deer meat and hamburgers. So.
Shotgun shells all over the side.
yeah. Holy. We got a body. All right, let's cover it.
The officers, faced with a car missing a tire, a broken window, and splattered with blood, were horrified. But the biggest question they had was, who did this body belong to? At that moment, the police had no answers, allowing Julissa to briefly return to the apartment. However, she and Robert were soon arrested as prime suspects in Eli's murder. Up until then, Julissa had maintained her facade, claiming to be a caring mother unaware of the horror that had unfolded. But as the case went to trial, everyone saw her true nature. The truth about her, already grim, became painfully clear for all to see. After Robert's deposition, he recounted everything that had happened the day before Eli vanished, making it clear that Julissa had been responsible. The last time Robert had seen Eli, Julissa had taken a shotgun to the car. This revelation was enough to exonerate Robert and unmask Julissa for what she truly was, a heartless perpetrator.
Your Honor, everyone knows Eli Har as the victim of this senseless and horrific crime. But Eli was so much more. Eli was an amazing 6-year-old boy who always woke up full of energy and laughter. He was kind, made friends easily, loved reading books. Eli had a love for animals that was very special. Eli explored, played outside, fished with his dad. Eli was an innocent, loving 6-year-old boy. He did not deserve this. Eli deserved to grow up and have a safe and happy life. Now we only have memories. And they are not enough. Time was taken from us. A lifetime of memories to be made gone. The moments I treasured as being a parent myself. Tori will never have those experiences. A lifetime without Eli, robbed of us. School milestones that we will never get to see, like graduating kindergarten and elementary school. All the artwork he would have brought home and put on the fridge, taken. The first day of middle school and high school, prom, graduation, watch him play sports, teach him to drive, stolen from us.
These words laid bare the unbearable pain Eli's family faced, moving everyone in the courtroom. Everyone except Julissa. Even though her own son was the victim, Julissa's demeanor during her trial made it clear that she felt no remorse for her actions.
I'm innocent. Fuck you all. You're garbage.
In the end, Julissa Taler was convicted on charges of first and second degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thanks for watching. Tap on one of these videos to keep the thrill going. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. See you in the next one.